we're talking to Peter Velleno from Castello di Amorosa. You can find out more by visiting visiting their website at castellodiamorosa.com. You should also follow them on Instagram at the Castello. All right, we're going to move on with the show. We are always excited about this little bit. It's called... No, not that. It's called... Wine, beer, spirit, or pop culture reference. This is where I'm going to give these guys a term, and they're going to try to tell if it's a wine term, a beer term, a spirit term, or some kind of pop culture reference. The term this week is crenellations.
Come on, that's not a word.
So is crenellations a wine term, a beer term, a spirit term, or a pop culture reference? Started with John for the tasting, so we're going to start with Jeff Solomon.
How do you spell crenellations?
C-R-E-N.
Wait, hold up. There's two C's?
There's just one C. Just one C. I wasn't sure if you could hear me over your giggling. I'll start over.
Okay,
Stop talking, Jeff Solomon. C-R-E-N-E-L-L-A-T-I-O-N-S.
That's not a word. I'm looking at this. This is not a word.
It is a word.
Okay. All right. Crenellations.
Crenellations.
Okay. Well, this is obviously... Oh, I know exactly what this is. Okay. See, during the winemaking process, there are a lot of different, I like to refer to it as like there's this hexyl methyl chicken wire.
Absolutely.
That's floating around inside of this solution here, but it's not a totally evenly distributed solution, and really a lot of it has to do with density, especially as some particles, as they're colliding together, they stick to each other and they wrap around each other, and then also what can really kind of mess with things is temperature fluctuations, right?
Okay,
and so what you often have is, before the bottling process, you're going to lower the temperature of the wine to precipitate out, various different particles. One of the more famous is tartaric acid, also known as cream of tartar. Some people call it wine diamonds. If you don't lower the temperature before you bottle it, and then you take a white wine, you put it in a fridge, and then the temperature lowers, and the wine diamonds or the tartaric acid, it precipitates out, it falls on the bottom. Some people kind of freak out when they see it. Some people are like, oh, it looks like diamonds. But another term that is often used, they refer to those as crenellations.
All right. So Jeff Solomon is going with a wine term, and it is just another way of saying wine diamonds.
Yes, crenellations.
Right. Crenellations. Now, I don't know on this one. John Ruyak, are you going to get this one? He's taking a big old drink of his wine, so I think he's got this one.
Watch out for the crenellations, bro.
And he's taking another drink. It's
that's what the beard's for. It filters them out.
It's like a Cool Hand Luke moment here. All right, so John, for our audio podcast, if you could stop chugging your wine and tell us what crenellations are.
Normally, you would see crenellations at the top of a mountain and a snowdrift, and the wind blows over the top of the snowdrift, and it creates a crest, and it starts to come down like a wave. I would venture to guess, if you looked out Jeff Eckel's window right now, you would see crenellations coming off the roof of his house, and he's really scared he's going to get knocked silly tomorrow when he goes out to his car.
So John Ruyak is saying it's a pop culture reference over. He's feeling that like I'm taking on Solomon's role and just looking for things around my house when it comes to this bit.
That's exactly it.
Okay. All right. Peter Velleno. Now, can you tell us what a crenellation is?
I gotta say it's not a term that I find myself using at the winery.
Yes.
Tartaric acid or not.
My instinct tells me it's not winemaking because there's hardly any winemaking terms that are English. There are almost always some weird French word for it. But I was thinking that, the crystals that precipitate out of the wine, I was on that track as well that Jeff got to eventually. So that I could go with that. I think it might be a winemaking term. I've never used it.
Okay. All right. Unbelievably, all right. Crenellations is in fact a pop culture reference. You can find crenellations where Peter Velleno works. And JVB, once again, is able to take this. Now, if you go to look at a castle, on the top row of a castle, there are generally some ups and downs. The top row of stones on the wall or tower, which alternate between merlons, the raised section, and crenottes, the gaps, to provide both cover and a line of fire for defenders. When you bring them all together, they are called crenellation.
So you're talking about peaks and valleys.
Pretty much, yes. And JVP pretty much got it. So nicely done.
I'll take a half a point for saying it's a pop culture reference.
You give me half for JVB putting make believe words inside of his definition. No points.
Kristen said it could also be used to describe the folds of a brain.
No, that's convolutions. I think.
We have some
Kristen's over here talking about
brain is smooth.
Yeah, Kristen's talking about phrenology over here.